Suffolk Free Radio, Boston Radio, the views and opinions expressed on Life and Times are the views and opinions of the on-air personalities only. These views do not reflect those of Suffolk University, Suffolk Free Radio, or those at the Student Leadership and Involvement Office. What up, what up, what up? Welcome, everybody. My name is Tyler McGrath. This is Life and Times, new season. Season 3, I think we're at right now. Yeah. So welcome if you're tuning in. This may be the first time you've heard of my show, but it's called Life and Times, and normally the purpose of this show is to just have long-form conversation about a variety of topics that could fall under entertainment, sports, culture, politics, anything, and I have a variety of guests on, and we discuss it at length, and usually it's a good show. So, but this semester, to start off these first few episodes, I'm kicking off what I'm calling the Suffolk Scene series, where I will be bringing in guests who are Suffolk musicians and Suffolk artists in order to, obviously expose their work, but also promote this platform of creativity, creative expression, and making people at Suffolk feel like they have a platform for their art and their creativity, which I think is important. And that'll be for the next, for the foreseeable future of episodes. So please, if you know anybody who would be interested in that, who would want to come on the show, if you know somebody who is an artist at Suffolk, please have them get in contact with me. My email is tylerpatrickmcgrath@gmail.com. I would love to have as many people on as I can. I'd love to keep this series going for, if it lasts all semester, that's totally cool with me. I just want to get as many Suffolk artists' names and work out there as possible. So with that being said, my guest is going to be showing up in the next couple of minutes. And before we get there, I just wanted to read, to shout out a friend of the show, Age of Information clothing brand. AOI is a lifestyle clothing brand standing for individuality, loyalty, and integrity. I'm currently wearing their long sleeve, never selling out shirt. It's one of my favorite items in my closet. Very sleek, very nice design. Very, the message is very clear on the back of the shirt. And it's very comfortable. It's a great shirt all around, and I definitely think worth the purchase. So if you support and enjoy this show, please check out Age of Information on Instagram at ageofinfo or ageofinfo.com. Their links will also be attached to any of our show postings on Facebook, Instagram, wherever this link for the show will be. Without further ado, we'd like to welcome Suffolk's own Ben P. What's up, man? Round of applause.
How's it going?
How you doing, dog?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
I'm doing good.
Glad to have you here. So let's start with just some basic Suffolk info. What year are you here?
I'm a senior here at
Cool.
Suffolk
Studying what?
I am a double major in business management and entrepreneurship.
Nice.
Just kind of a plan B, just in case,
Right.
I mean, I'm doing pretty good in music right now, but am I to lose everything tomorrow, then, I got something to fall back on.
And those sound like general skills that are just good to have
Exactly.
like that could also help in the music.
Right.
Have you been at Suffolk since your freshman year?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. What made you want to come here?
At the time, I was looking for, a good business program to get into.
Right.
And I guess Suffolk was the only schools with the better business program that accepted me at the time.
Right.
So I just said, you know what, I'll just come here.
I'm with you.
Right.
Yeah. Have you noticed any of your friends leaving throughout the years?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I definitely have.
Yeah, plenty. I think Suffolk has one of the highest transfer rates.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. So people
Yeah.
spend a semester here, they get tired of it. I guess it's just, the way the whole campus thing is set up.
Is that what you think it is? Do you think no campus is the biggest reason?
That's one of the reasons I've
Yeah.
heard. I guess another reason is not a lot of people like the fact that it's a dry campus.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah,
don't
that's
like
no
that.
fun.
Yeah, so once they hear that, they're like, all right, yeah, time for me to go.
I'm with you. Are you from the area, from Boston?
Yes, I grew up in Malden, Massachusetts.
Nice,
So
okay.
a good 25, 30 minutes out from the city.
Right. So you commute into class every day?
Start after sophomore year, yeah.
I'm with you. Okay.
Because,
Cool.
Suffolk has that whole you can't stay on campus for more than 2 years type thing, which is, again, mind-blowing, but it is what it is right here, yeah.
Have you been born and raised in Malden?
I was born in the city. I was born in the city of Boston,
Right.
and then I spent my early childhood in Somerville, and then I moved to Malden around, I want to say 5 days before my 7th birthday.
Right.
So the early childhood I spent in Somerville, from an infant to around 6 years old, and then my 7th birthday I moved to Malta.
Was there ever any desire to go to school somewhere else outside the state?
Oh yeah, there's plenty, especially around senior year when I was exploring my options. I definitely wanted to go to University of Phoenix.
Right.
I was looking at different universities in Florida,
Cool.
New York University, NYU, of course. UConn was definitely
Me too. UConn was on my list.
That was definitely an option, but. As soon as I brought it up to my mother, she said, absolutely not. She said, it's either you stay here for school or you don't go to school at all. So
it's because she just wanted you around? That makes sense. That makes sense,
yeah.
man. Okay, so a lot of stuff's been happening for you musically. Like you mentioned, you've been doing really well. So, but let's take it back to the beginning. Let's start from the come up, if you would.
Of course.
When did you start making music?
I want to say I began to start taking music seriously around probably freshman year of high school.
Like in the booth making songs?
Yeah. That's when, I decided to, take, a more professional approach with it. So I started, I started off recording remixes.
Cool.
The first ever track I recorded was a remix to I'm a Boss by Meek Mill.
Nice.
That's
a good choice.
That was the first remix I ever recorded. It got a good response from my peers, and we just kept the ball rolling from there.
Nice. And was there a reason why you suddenly started? Started professionally.
Of course. Yeah. Starting at first, it was just a hobby,
right?
More of an outlet to take my anger out of, because I was, the easy target in school. I was the kid everybody came after when they were having a bad day.
Right.
I was just that guy that was easy to take their anger out on. So I needed something else to, kind of help me forget about it. And I just started writing. And the more I started writing,
nice.
I fell in love with it. And then come freshman year of high school, I decided, you know what, it's time.
Yeah. So you think experiences like that are your main inspiration even up till now?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
I was gonna ask then the follow-up question, real life events, because I listened to your I Am Number 8 EP that we'll definitely get into, but is it real life experience, real life everything that's happened in your content?
Everything. I try to be who I am
for sure
in the music, because there are a lot of people who love to put up different personas and like to create different personalities and just try to escape the real world. And even though you can still do that, you can still do that by being yourself.
Definitely.
And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, or don't really want to follow that way of thinking. So I just try to be as original as I can.
Definitely. And I think it definitely comes across. Like I said, I've listened to your music. I think you sound very genuine. Your expression, just the like the life in the bars when you're rapping, you can tell that it's coming from a real place. So I definitely appreciate that.
Of course.
How long along the line till you got signed? Because you're signed to Kingdom Sound Music.
Yes,
Is that
I
what
am.
the name? All right.
Kingdom Sound Music Group. I think I was independent for a good 5 years until July of 2015. They finally. Funny story, actually. The CEO of the record label used to be my choir director.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So he left when I was around 12, 13 to
choir
actually
in
start
school or out of school?
Out of school.
Okay,
in church.
Gotcha.
He actually left the church to actually start building up the label, and then I think 2-3 years later, I was still putting out music and doing my own thing, and his assistant came across my music and gave it to him, and automatically I got the contact. He's like, he remembered me off rap. He saw my pictures and he was like, yo, I'm starting to sign people. Do you want to come aboard? And I took off from there.
And is obviously because you knew him, that is an appealing option. But why did you decide to sign instead of stay independent? Were there clear benefits?
Yes, there were a lot of clear benefits, because at the time, I feel like, I don't want to say that I didn't have no following at all, but I was still struggling.
Yeah.
And the amount of industry contacts that he has, and how well versed he is in the music industry, I thought being signed under Kingdom Sound Music Group would definitely help me out to some degree, and it has. That's
so obviously you like it better than being independent. Do you find that you get the attention that you need, the one-on-one time, the freedoms that you might want for releasing music?
Definitely get a lot more freedom. One of the clear benefits that made me sign was I have 100% creative freedom.
Nice.
So
nice.
once I heard that, I was like,
yep,
where do I sign?
Got to ink that deal for
yeah.
sure. Okay. And how big is that as your label? Like, are there a lot of artists signed?
Not a lot. There was a lot of artists at one point, but every artist has their own reason of leaving.
Right.
So, I think there's only a couple affiliates, including myself, left. But we're not. I'm not gonna say like we're like super huge, like we're one of the major labels,
right.
but like we're pretty well connected within the industry. Like there are a lot of people that know we exist.
Nice.
So. Yeah.
And you said it has a nice family vibe to it,
exactly.
like with being small and
right.
being able to pay attention.
Exactly.
That's good. That sounds very beneficial. So next big milestone, Spike Lee movie,
of
right?
Of course, yeah.
When this year or last year?
2017, so last year.
Okay, so get into that a little. What was the whole deal? What's this movie? What's the song that you got in it?
This is a spinoff of his very first movie, She's Gotta Have It, that got turned into a Netflix series. Got released on Thanksgiving last year, 2017. What happened was it was a contest. Spike Lee and his team put out a little contest, a little contest that said that they were looking for unsigned upcoming people who wanted to have their music showcased on the series. But the first time I saw the little post, I saw it on Facebook.
Right.
I scrolled past it immediately. I stopped thinking about it. I didn't really give it much thought because as soon as I saw upcoming unsigned artists, I already knew he was going to get a flood of entries. Definitely. So many people were going to be involved in it, and I was like, you know what? He might not even listen.
Yeah,
he might not even see it, let alone listen to it. So I scrolled past it, but then I got bored, refreshed the page again, and I saw the post again, and I said, you know what? Why not?
Just had to. It's there.
It's there. So I followed the instructions. I submitted my song "Find Us," which is a song produced by a very close friend of mine, Sideshow Flex.
Cool.
Lives not even 5 minutes away from me.
Nice.
From the
there
same
you go.
city.
So easy.
So yeah, we made the song together. I wrote the song. He made the beat. And I sent it in, and I completely forgot about it. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. I did it. I did it just to say I did it. I want to say two and a half months later.
Oh, wow. Okay, that long.
I got a call back from his assistant saying, hey, Spike Lee wants the lyrics to your song. He's looking to put it on the soundtrack.
Dope.
From there, it was amazing.
It's you performing it? Or
yes.
Okay, awesome. And is that movie out? Can people see it now?
Yes, it's on Netflix.
And what about the song? Is that available anywhere else?
Yes, it's available everywhere. Spotify,
Sick.
iTunes, Apple Music, everywhere.
Definitely. We'll definitely give them all your details at the end of the show. How has been the response to that? Have people heard your clip in the movie?
Yeah,
they've been messaging you?
Everybody heard it. Yeah. Everybody was going nuts. Everybody, like, the amount of congratulations, the good thoughts that I got from people. Everybody seemed to vibe with not only the song being in the show, but the show itself.
Right.
Everybody liked it.
That's
and
dope.
So much to the point where they just announced there's going to be a season 2.
Dope. So, there you go. So definitely be looking out for more opportunities.
Of course.
So on that note, obviously this one you said was accidental, but are you starting to look for things now like this, more opportunities like that?
Now that there's definitely a foot in the door,
Yeah.
My manager has gotten in contact with some people from Hulu.
Nice.
If they're looking for more shows. And, of course, Netflix still has my contact whenever they need, And some of my music might be on season 2 if she's got to have it, if they're still looking for it.
That'd be dope. If you're listening, Spike, you got to have it.
Of course.
You got to have it.
Of course.
Is there any interest in acting, or is it just music for you right now on that side?
Yeah, for now, it's just music.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Acting has always been, something I've had in the back of my head.
Right.
So maybe, if I ever feel like it, or maybe if I feel like it's time, down the line, I'll probably get into it at some point.
Definitely. Okay, so let's now talk about your I Am Number 8 EP. When did that come out?
I Am Number 8 dropped August 8th, 2017.
And it's available where?
Everywhere. Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, any major digital streaming site that you have is there.
Okay, and is that your first EP?
My first
that you produced as well.
My first self-produced EP.
Okay, so have you released projects before? Is this the first one on the label?
I've released projects before, but this is like the first one that I've actually built from scratch.
Right,
I produced, song wrote, everything by myself.
And about how long was that period? From start to finish?
I want to say it took me a good 9 to 10 months.
Right. Wow. But you've been, I'm sure, imagining this EP for even much longer.
Of course.
Right? Yeah. So what were some of the biggest challenges you had when you made it? Because obviously, sorry to cut you off, but as creative thinking, sometimes you don't always create exactly what was in your head, right?
Exactly.
You're not always satisfied with what you find or what turns out. So were those challenges? Did you find yourself triumphing over those?
I did, even though it did take some time.
Yeah.
When I first, decided to come up with the concept of producing the whole thing by myself,
Yeah.
I was still learning how to produce.
Right.
So,
cool.
I was still
really
trying
from
to, So really from scratch. I was at the time still learning new tricks on how to, produce by myself, but at the same time, still trying to create the sound that I knew I wanted to put out.
Right.
So, it was, the challenges were there, and it did take some time, but I got
definitely
through.
Came out. Yeah.
Definitely came through.
So the name I Am Number 8. What's the story behind that?
It actually, a lot of people don't know this. I got this name from a sermon preached by Pastor John Gray of the Lakewood Church. I don't remember where that is actually, but I think it's down south.
Okay.
I was going through a time of, rock bottom. I was at my lowest.
Yeah.
So many things were going wrong. I was in a lot of sticky situations.
Right.
A lot of really bad situations that could have gone left, that could have, ended my life.
Life ending. Okay, wow.
Life ending, career ending.
Right.
And, it came to a point where I had to sit down and realize where I was and then try to come up with a plan on how to get out of it.
Right.
Because where I was at that point in time, nobody was going to help me get out of that.
To pull yourself up.
I was basically on my own. So I basically, it was one night, I felt like I needed some type of divine intervention.
Right.
So I spent some time alone, picked up a Bible, started watching sermons on YouTube, and then I came across Pastor John Gray's sermon, I Am Number 8, watched it, and I felt like it was fate.
Right.
That led me to that sermon, and from then on, I watched the video, and what the pastor was saying touched me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what, this is gonna be the name of the EP.
Is there a message specifically that he had, like maybe a line or a way of thinking that sticks with you the most?
Basically, the story is about the story of, I want to say King. Ooh, I don't know. This shouldn't be slipping my mind
It's
right
all
now.
good.
But the story of Joseph.
Okay.
This is basically about a little boy who was basically the runt of the litter because he was the youngest of 8 boys, but he was he was born of a different mother.
Right.
So because he was born of a different mother, my fault. At that time,
a whole lot of different brother.
Yeah. At that time, that was frowned upon. So I guess at that time, all of his older brothers mistreated him. He was basically seen as a servant. They made him do all the chores. They made him do all their dirty work for them. And then there came a time where God sent his prophet Samuel to go to Joseph's house, to find the new king of Israel. And at this point, his father Jesse, was, he knew he was coming. He knew God was sending someone to be the next king of Israel. So he lined up all 7 of his boys, but left, little Joseph in the backyard doing chores. Left him doing, I think he was doing barn work, working with sheep and all the other animals outside. So he lined up all 7 boys as soon as God's prophet came through, and he said, "These are all my boys. Pick your choosing. Who is it?" And the prophet Samuel went down the line, and God said no to each and every single one, which left the prophet confused, and because God said there was a king in this house.
Right.
The next king of Israel was in this house, but you just said no to all of them. So what's going on here?
Right.
Which led the prophet to ask the father, "Do you have one more kid?" And then the father replied, "Yes, but he's not really who you want." But and then the prophet said, "Go get him, and I'm not leaving till you leave and go get him." So long story short, the father went to the back, got the kid got little Joseph from the backyard, brought him into the house. As soon as the prophet saw him and God saw him. God said, "He's the one.
He's the one.
That's him. Anoint him with oil."
Yep.
With that kid with the dirt on his face, that
Right.
kid that's
the
been in the back,
mistreated, the one that's been held down.
That's the next king
is
of
the
Israel.
king.
And I saw that, I heard that, and it touched me.
Yeah.
To the point where I was like, you know what, this is it.
Definitely, man. And do you think, looking back, that you're out of that place, getting out?
I think I'm still getting out.
Yeah.
But I'm well on my way.
Definitely making progress.
I'm well on my
and
way.
The music helps, right?
Exactly.
Therapy.
Couldn't ask for any more.
Right.
For therapy, couldn't ask for any better.
Now that you tell those stories, it gives me a lot more insight, because I noticed some themes on the EP were things like motivation, things like aspirations, things like trying to achieve these goals that you've set for yourself, and with all these milestones that you've had, with getting signed with the Spike Lee movie, are you seeing yourself check things off your list?
Yes.
Nice.
Easily.
I'm sure there's a lot more to go.
Of course, there's always there's never you're never done.
Right.
Like there's always something new.
Definitely.
So but I can definitely be proud enough to say that I'm well on my way out. The project as a whole, I'm proud of to this day.
Yeah.
Because if you're an artist in general, if you built something from scratch and you know how good it is, and
Definitely.
and you're confident in how good it is, then you're gonna be proud of it.
For sure.
And I'm definitely proud of it because this is. I think this was one projects where I wasn't really looking to put out hit music.
Right.
Like I wasn't really looking to put something out for the radio or put something out for people to bump. I just wanted to put something out. Basically, let me reword that.
Yeah, go for it.
With this project, I just wanted to get things off my chest.
For sure.
Basically,
and that's all range of emotions, right?
Yeah,
that's all spectrum.
all range.
That can turn into radio hits. That can turn into things that
Of
bump.
course.
But it's all genuine, right?
All
You're not
genuine.
forcing it. And I think that does come through, I think, when you listen to it. Because for anybody who hasn't, there's different styles, a lot of different styles of songs, right? They all have different vibes to them. And each one is reflecting some other emotion on the spectrum. So I think you do a really good job of having the balance, having the different vibes. And I think there's something for everybody on each track. It really seems like you take lyricism seriously.
Of course.
On every track, you're flowing, bars for days. And is that something that's always been important?
Yeah. I just feel like as an artist, especially in hip hop, lyricism is a really big thing. I mean, nowadays that you have like mumble rap and all the other, lit music, people don't really look for lyricism anymore. Right. But like back when hip hop was still starting up, if you didn't have a flow, if you didn't have bars, no one took you seriously.
Definitely.
So I think I just want to keep that essence of hip hop.
Is that why? Because I also noticed that you don't swear that much. Is that also why? Because you just have different words to use.
Exactly. Yeah. I just feel like an artist doesn't have to cuss every 4 bars just to get his message across.
I agree.
You feel me? So
I agree. I definitely agree. I think it makes it nice on the ears, obviously, to listen to. I think you can caters to more audiences, and obviously radio and stuff that helps. The last thing I wanted to ask about the of themes in the project, there was a lot of references to loyalty and betrayal. And have you been through many events like that in your life?
Man, 2017, I think I've seen the most betrayal I've ever seen in my life.
Personally, to you?
Yeah. The most disloyalty, the most betrayal, which culminated to the song "Turn Your Back," track number 4.
Yes.
I've had so many people literally just walk out on me, just basically turn their back and say, "Look, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with you."
Has this coincided with the increase in music success?
Yeah.
And you think there's a correlation there?
It's honestly from the music to success to me and my own mistakes.
Right.
I'm not gonna hop on the mic and claim that I'm the most perfect being on earth. I mess up. I've done stupid things. I've said stupid things to people, and things just things go left, and sometimes situations like that are gonna happen
for sure.
But 2017, I think I've seen the most of that I'll ever see in my life again.
Yeah. Well, that's at least a positive, because then maybe you won't see it this much. But on the flip side, have you seen people taking you more seriously in 2017? Because like I said, more milestones being achieved.
Yeah. I feel like I'm being, well, to a certain degree, I feel like I'm being held on a higher pedestal.
Yeah.
Because I'm basically doing what a lot of people aren't doing nowadays. But at the same time, I try to make sure that I'm not always throwing that in people's faces.
Right.
Just try to be more humble about it.
With you.
Because, cockiness will always come back to bite you in some way, shape, or form.
Definitely.
If it doesn't happen now, it'll happen tomorrow. And
it's true.
So I just try to, even though I'm achieving all that I'm achieving, I try to, maintain a level head.
Right. Humble, but still being you, because in real life, you are achieving, you are being successful. So you still want to communicate that and express the gratitude. I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
You recently came out with Gucci Gang and Lemon remixes?
Yes.
Both fantastic. Is there another project coming out soon, or is there more remixes for music?
I do have another project, a joint project with
very nice.
My fellow artist. His name is Daniel Voltaire.
Yeah.
Straight out of Lynn, he goes to UMass Dartmouth.
Shout out to Lynn.
Yeah. City of Sin. We go way back. I grew up with him, and I think over the break, over the winter break after last semester ended, I was in the studio and I started working on different music, preparing for 2018. And we had a conversation, and I think just a light bulb clicked in my head, and I was like, you know what? Yo, what do you feel about doing? How do you feel about doing a collab project? And he was like, I'm for it. And then we just made it from there.
Nice.
It's called A Mic and a Dream. A quick EP, 6-7 songs. Cool. Drops next Friday.
Nice. Next Friday. Friday. Is that an exclusive?
Exclusive.
All right, Life and Times exclusive, everybody. Well, where will they be able to find that?
SoundCloud.
Okay, cool. And also for anybody who's listening, we'll definitely post, all the relevant links with wherever the show gets posted. So if you miss it, don't worry, it'll be there.
Of course.
Do you collaborate a lot with artists from your hometown, old friends?
I collaborate with anybody that wants to.
Yeah.
I don't believe in, I don't really believe in having all the glory to myself. Like I want to make sure
share the spotlight.
I want to make sure, because Boston, there's too much talent out here that doesn't have a spotlight. There's too many artists out here that take this craft serious, but
you don't think Boston gets their shine? You're right. When you say not. Boston, I can't think of any big names or anybody who's really gotten a lot of respect or admiration. I can't think of any off top. Maybe you can. But
there are plenty.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. Yeah.
Jordan Lucas. One of them.
Is he out of Boston? I didn't know that.
He's from Worcester.
Gotcha.
But one of the top rappers out of Massachusetts. Cousin Stiz, Millie's, Bia, Michael Christmas. There's just so many people.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Definitely.
But there are a lot of more local rappers that I've collaborated with, that I work with. Jay Papa, Daniel Voltaire, of course. My brother. I want to say Jazz, Vonnie. Cool. There are so many artists.
For sure.
So many artists that deserve a bigger spotlight that they usually get.
Yeah.
Because they have the talent, they have the musical talent, they have the musical ability, they have the musical skill to be one of the top artists in the game. And I feel like definitely in 2018 it's time for Boston to get its spotlight.
Yeah, I love hearing that. I love it. So speaking of two local collabs, you're the first guest of what I'm doing here, the Suffolk series, of artists and music, musicians at Suffolk. Have you collabed with Suffolk artists often? Maybe not often, but have you at all?
I don't think I've ever successfully collabed with any artists from Suffolk.
Right.
But it's been talked about. There are so many people who I've wanted to work with that go to the school, but plans end up falling through.
Right.
So,
is there a pretty involved music scene at Suffolk that you know of? I haven't seen too much.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's involved, because the whole. I think there's this negative stigma on the SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
Now that once people hear that, they're like, I'm not trying to hear that.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to, and it's messed up, because basically SoundCloud is basically the startup.
Exactly. There's a lot of good content there. There's a lot of bad stuff, but that's also where you'll find the good things. What to swear.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of artists who are on today that blew up off of SoundCloud.
Yeah, exactly.
Lil Pump, XX Tentacion.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot
even
of
Uzi, I think, to some extent.
Uzi. Yeah, Uzi did Post Malone.
There you go. Yeah,
right off. Blew up. I think it was White Iverson.
Yeah,
that I think went crazy. Bryson Tiller.
Yeah,
blew up off of SoundCloud.
Some great examples.
There's just.
Do you why do you think that is that there's not? You mentioned the SoundCloud rapper comment, but do you think there's enough creative spaces at Suffolk for music expression?
Yeah. There's plenty of creative space here, but I just feel like no one wants to take advantage of it.
Right. Okay. So you think it's a lack of resolve or lack of motivation in people?
Yeah, that'll definitely do it.
Yeah. Why is that? Why do you think that happens here? Do you think Suffolk promotes that? Like promotes this type of creative expression?
Suffolk wants to.
Yeah.
I think Suffolk wants to.
Yeah.
But it's just not there.
Right.
Okay. And if it is, then I think it's just the people that don't really take it in like that. Because we're trying to make it out, but at the same time we're not like big name artists. So if you're not really a big name artist, then a lot of people, especially around Suffolk, aren't really going to take you that serious.
Right.
So yeah, there's that.
Okay. In terms of clubs at Suffolk that you're part of, have there been events that have helped your exposure, that have helped you put your music on?
Oh yeah. Caribbean Student Network.
Nice.
That I've been a part of that since freshman year.
Yeah.
Love them all to death. They're basically all family to me. I've performed at their fashion show, which really helps out because there are a lot
that one year with Rain Cam. Yeah, that was dope.
There are designers there. You know, of course, the models of there. They all love the music. I've also been involved in Black Student Union events. The African Diaspora
for sure. Also was there this year. Yeah, fantastic.
Something I've been performing at since freshman year.
Yeah.
It's all those type of shows are a good platform for students to get their music out there. And both clubs are very open to it, so I think they've been able to help me out a lot.
Nice. One thing that, if you remember Emilio, they used to go here.
Yes,
yeah. He wanted me to ask. Back in the day, I think he sent you a couple beats. Whatever happened to those songs, man? Whatever happened to those?
Listen, I think I wrote them, and then like in the recording process, I think it just came to a point where I recorded them, I played them back, and I was like, I don't like what I did.
Yeah, exactly. It happens, dog. It happens. I just needed to hear the answer. I've been wondering for a couple of years now.
I feel you. And I've been going through that a lot lately, especially after the EP. I've been recording a bunch of songs. Once it's done, I replay it back. I like it one day, and then I play it back like 2 days later. I'm like, what is this?
So how often do you normally spend on like one song at a time? Are you usually trying multiple at once?
Honestly, it depends.
Yeah.
Because I want to say the shortest time it's ever taken for me to write and record a song, 30 minutes.
Right, okay.
30 minutes. Yeah. Like, I'll write a whole, 2-3 verses in, 10, 15, because I already have a hook in my head.
Right.
Go in and record it. I'll be done mixing, mastering within 35 minutes flat. And then I put it out, so it's good. Like, it's if I like it, if I play it back 2 days later and I like it, that's when I'll drop it. But then the longest it's ever taken me to write a song, probably 3 weeks, three and a half weeks, and
that's just writing.
That's just writing. Because sometimes how I write is, I'll play a beat. If I like it, of course, I'll already have a hook in my head.
Yeah.
And then once I jot the hook down, I'll write my verses based on the hook, and then that's how I finish it.
That's your normal process.
That's my normal process. Yeah.
Nice.
And then but there are times where I'll write a line down, or I'll write a couple set of bars down, and then I'll read it to myself. I'm like, nah, that's corny.
Right.
Or I'll write another set of bars and be like, nah, I could do better. And then So
are you a booth fiend? Do you live in the booth?
When I have the time.
Yeah. Of
so
course.
When school's,
we got stuff to do.
When school's not dominating, then I'm definitely always recording. I'm always in the booth. I'm always trying to create something new.
Definitely.
So,
Nice. So, with everything we've talked about and everything that you've been through so far with your music career, it is a career now at this point.
Yes,
I'm sure it has been for a couple of years now. Yeah. Are you happy with where you were? Not in the sense that, with where you are, not in the sense that you're gonna stop, but so far, do you like what you're seeing from yourself?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think I'm pretty content. I think what played into me being at rock bottom was musically, I was paying attention to too many people at once.
Right.
And because I was paying attention to other people, other artists, and seeing the feedback they were getting, and then looking back at my music, and I'm not getting that same amount of feedback.
Right.
I think I let that get to me, and that ended up, declining my talent. I started doubting my ability. I started doubting, my skill as an artist, and I think that kind of played into, me being so low.
Right.
Especially not only in the real life, but musically.
Right.
So now that I'm glad to say I'm past that. And now that I'm past that, and I'm confident that I'm actually past it now, I've been able to focus more. Yeah. And I've been able to have fun again.
So do you think the music has sparked the inner self-confidence, self-motivation, or the other way around, or mix of both?
Probably a mix of both.
Yeah.
Mix
of both. They feed on each other and feed into each other.
They have to.
Yeah. You think you make better music when you are, not up, feeling up, feeling good? Because you could also make music when you're down. But do you think you make better music when you're in this headspace that you're in now?
Yeah.
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 For sure.
I want to say I make better music when I'm in a positive state of mind.
Definitely.
When I feel like, things are going my way, and I can capitalize on everything, on every move that I make.
Yeah.
And make it into a positive avenue for me.
Cool.
So, I think that's,
all right. My last question is, if you had to describe, do you have a sound that you would tell people you have, or do you like to switch it up?
I try to be as versatile as I can.
Yeah, for sure.
I try to, try not to stick to one sound, even though a lot of people like it when artists try to stick to one sound, but at the same time, you don't want to sound repetitive.
Definitely.
You feel me? So definitely. I try to be as versatile as I can. I try to move from today's modern hip hop to back in the day the boom bap rap to
mix it
maybe other genres a little bit of R&B, a little bit of dancehall. Yeah, I've been experimenting. Nice. I experimented a little bit on I Am Number 8.
Yes,
if you heard
I love First Time.
First Time.
Shout out that one. That one is a very good song.
Yeah, that was my first time ever producing a dancehall record.
I love it.
So
came out well.
Built that from scratch, and
nice.
Got a great response.
Nice. What program you use?
Logic.
Logic, bro. I'm a Logic Pro fan myself.
Of course.
Is there anything else you got? Anything else you want to say? Anything you want to plug?
There's so much.
And then also give where they can reach you.
Of course. Well, the name is Ben P. Real simple. On all social media, Ben P Official.
Yep.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Ben P Official.
Yep.
Real simple.
Yep.
On Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Ben P.
Yep.
Make sure you put the dot at the end though. That's why I always tell people
at the end of the P.
At the end of the P.
Gotcha.
And I want to shout out Caribbean Student Network. We have our
nice.
yearly fashion show dropping in April.
Nice.
That's coming out.
Everybody come out.
Everybody come out to that. I'm the DJ for the show this year.
Okay, definitely come out.
Yeah, definitely come out.
Will there be new music?
Premiering? Of course.
Okay,
We'll see. And of course, A Mic and a Dream.
Right.
With my brother Daniel Voltaire, dropping next Friday.
Nice.
On SoundCloud.
Nice.
Everybody, get in tune with that. SoundCloud,
for sure.
Ben P Official, and yeah.
For sure. All right, man. Would love to have you back on sometime once some new music has come out. We really
problem.
appreciate you being here.
Of course.
Thank you, dog.
No problem, brother.
Much. Appreciate
Thank you for having me.